Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learned back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Aries February 2020 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, first thing up is as far as February goes, the sun will be in Aquarius from the 1st until the 19th, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on friends, acquaintances, goals, aspirations, one's future, groups, clubs, organizations, stepchildren, if applicable, and social networking and social media. Now, given if this is Aquarius energy, this could be strongly about being very future minded in these areas, this may be done with a lot of progressive energy, a lot of selflessness, humanitarianism, perhaps, and also certain things, 11th house matters, really just going outside the box. It could be a focus on unusual or unorthodox groups or friends, and even perhaps being innovative as far as your aspirations and goals go, being an innovator or doing something Aquarius related. Now, in some cases, this can be a time where where it could be about shining the light, so to speak, on a rather unorthodox or eccentric or unusual, even innovative. It could be as a stepchild, in some cases, if applicable, a friend, an acquaintance. And anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as February goes, the sun will be in Pisces from the 19th until the 29th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, where there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on one's restrictions, limitations, self-undoing, secret sorrows, an aunt and uncle, even solitude, seclusion, isolation. Even in some cases, this could be also a strong focused concentration of energy and attention on one's private life at this time as well. Sometimes it could even be clandestine affairs in some cases. Now, in hidden adversaries. Now, given that this is a Pisces energy, and also a focus attention on those less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry. Given this is Pisces energy, a lot of this may be done with a lot of altruism, a lot of compassion, a lot of self-sacrificing energy, and a lot of very strong, perhaps all-encompassing emotion and sensitivity as well. Now, in some cases, this could be, in isolated cases, this could be something where this might be about shining the light, so to speak, on a Pisces hidden adversary. It may be a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Pisces characteristics. It could also be, in some isolated cases, could be about an eye issue, because remember, you're talking about the sun in astrology rules either the left or the right eye, depending on gender, and you're talking about the 12th house of limitations. And being Pisces energy, this could be an eye issue that might be something where maybe something's eye could be a little bit blurry, or things are rather unclear or fuzzy in one eye compared to the other. So those are some ways this could manifest and pan out. So anyway, well, the next thing up, there will be a full moon in Leo on February 9th, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest and pan out, this could be about a completion of some Leo-like sport, some sport or hobby or thing of amusement, enjoyment. It could be something where maybe you put an end to something like golfing, or something connected with entertainment, or anything, I mean, Leo related. It could be something like singing, or or even doing something that requires really a lot of extroversion or anything, as I stated before. I mean, it could be Leo related, something which maybe was putting you in the spotlight, even that you might have enjoyed at this time. It could be an ending to, I mean, looking at this as well. Or maybe even, I mean, Leo energy could be about amusement, like type games, video games, or something. It could be a time where maybe you put an end to something like that at this time, but it could also be a time where one becomes tired, exasperated, or full of, say, a child or a lover that might be overly gregarious or attention seeking, even arrogant or egotistical, overly extravagant, perhaps, or somebody that might be overly, very, you could say, hot-tempered. Anything that, this could be a time to where, and then having enough of this again, because the full moon astrology can be about a time where one becomes tired, exasperated, or full of something. Now, another thing too is this could also be about a time of revelations or unveilings. I mean, this could be a time where this could even be a self-revelation to you, for example, of some kind of extravagant gambling or situation you may be in, which you might have not been really quite cognizant of previously. And it could be something too where you're talking about, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, this energy, Leo energy, and the fifth house, and it could be in some cases where you might be somebody that, when you're looking at this Aries, where this could also be about a revelation of, maybe it could be a child or it could be a lover that just might be overly arrogant or egotistical, or somebody that's overly attention seeking, or anything that could be Leo, that really that's negative in connection with the zodiac sign Leo at this time. And sometimes this could also be about a revelation or unveiling of a Leo that, if you're unattached, that might have that you may romantic connection with, or some kind of unveiling or revelation of love from a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant person to you, or one that simply embodies Leo type characteristics. So anyway, well, the next thing up is there's going to be a new moon in Pisces on February 23rd. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could manifest in a number of ways. Some cases, in isolated cases, this could be about the new Pisces hidden adversary. It could be a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant person, or one that embodies Piscean traits. Could be the start of simply showing altruism, self-sacrificing energy, and compassion toward those less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, or the hungry. It could also be a time to looking at this where I mean, you're talking about the new moon in Pisces and 12th house energy. It could be about a time where you begin something Piscean like in solitude and seclusion, such as something with dancing, poetry. It could be some fantasy thing that you enjoy, like playing Dungeons and Dragons or some other fantastical game. It could also be a time to looking at this. It could be a starting point for you at this time, where really could be about a lot of self-sacrificing energy that you may be doing, like behind the scenes, or doing something at this time as well. When you're talking about new moon energy, it's energy that could be, I mean, Pisces energy, even though it's Pisces, new moon energy can be very, as far as being very, having a lot, being very revitalizing and having really a good abundance of energy. And it could be about putting a lot of like this idealistic energy into tackling your restrictions and limitations at this time. So I mean, this is where a lot of this energy can manifest at this time for you, Aries. So anyway, Well, next thing up, Mercury will be in Aquarius as far as February goes, from the 1st until the 3rd. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this could manifest and pan out for you, uh, Aries, this could be about a lot of communications that are very about talking about new ideas, new concepts, innovations, astrology, astronomy, with friends, with acquaintances, people that you know at groups, clubs, organizations. It could also be a time where you're showing more consideration in your speech and your communications with 11th house people, which may include stepchildren if applicable. Now, I mean, also, as I've stated in previous videos, Mercury can also be about siblings. This could be about Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aquarius characteristics. And they could be figure prominently in your goals, your aspirations, your future, matters with stepchildren if applicable, social media, social networking, groups, clubs, organizations, and whether they're more beneficial or to your detriment, a lot of that could be predicated independent on aspects that are made to points in your chart. Say a sextile trine to your natal Jupiter, they might be more auspicious in those matters, but let's say an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn could be where they might be more to your detriment and more where they're causing some sorrow or some grief or some restriction or limitation in those matters. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as February goes, Mercury will be in Pisces from the 3rd until the 29th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, keep in mind that we're talking about the 12th house energy in Mercury, so you might be a little bit less loquacious and talkative than usual. There may be more conversations and communications going on behind the scenes. This could be a lot of idealistic thinking in terms of perhaps dealing with your restrictions, your limitations at this time, but also where you might be thinking where you're a little bit confused or ambivalent, indecisive about these matters as well, and even perhaps understanding maybe who your hidden adversaries may be, people that may be posing as friends, but they may secretly be enemies or adversaries at this time. Now, at the same time, this could be about doing like some kind of Piscean type writing in solitude and seclusion. It could be doing writings connected with fantasy, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, something with poetry, or writing about something associated with water, chemistry, any boating, the sea, anything that could be Pisces related at this time. As I've stated before, Mercury can also be about siblings, and I mean, this is whether they're actually beneficial or more to your I mean, these siblings could be Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Piscean characteristics, and whether they're more beneficial or more to your detriment, a lot of that could be predicated and dependent on aspects that are made to points in your chart. And if it's making, say, a sextile trine to your natal Jupiter, they might be more auspicious in 12th house matters. But let's say if they're dealing, let's say that if it's making an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn, it might be going in the other direction, and it may be something where they're actually causing some grief or some loss or restriction and limitations in these matters, and it could actually exacerbate something like secret sorrows at this time. Anyway, next thing up, Venus will be in Pisces as far as February goes, from the 1st until the 7th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, one way this may manifest and pan out, if you're unattached at this time, Aries, you may connect with a Pisces Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Piscean traits. It may be for a clandestine affair, something that you're keeping really strongly behind closed doors. so to speak. There may be certain monetary limitations that may be attributed to rather maybe chaotic or even unrealistic spending at this time. And avoid, I mean, sometimes this could be about, you're talking about Venus and Pisces energy, where this could be about being, in some cases, being duped financially, and being the 12th house energy could lead to secret sorrows at this time. And unrealistic spending could be oneself undoing at this time as well. But at the same time, this could also be about valuing idealism, compassion, and really altruism, self-sacrificing energy in matters connected those with less people less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry, and even in valuing idealism in terms of trying to extricate yourselves from certain limiting situations, restrictions at this time, and also valuing more compassion and idealism for people that might actually be hidden adversaries that are posing as your friends, valuing forgiveness with these people at this time. And anyway, next thing up. Well, Venus will be in Aries as far as February goes, from the 7th until the 29th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, one way this could manifest and pan out, this could be about a lot of self-love at this time, Aries, and loving your Aries qualities, loving your the fact that you're courageous, that you have fortitude and courage, and that you're aggressive and you're able to initiate things and have very strong enterprise and initiative. And also, I mean, might be a time where you come across as more attractive, more so than usual at this time. It could be by wearing very sporty type clothing, or anything that's, I mean, it could be a time too where it could also be about impulsive buying for yourself. So just be careful at this time, Aries, as far as impetuous, impulsive spending may go on yourself, or even on a grandmother or somebody that might be from your early childhood. Now, speaking of that, if you're unattached at this time, Aries, you may connect with an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Aries characteristics. It may be somebody that you may have known from your early childhood. It could be a childhood sweetheart that you knew from your early your schooling years, during your early education. And it could be someone too that could be very instrumental in new beginnings, your outlook at this time as well. It could also be about valuing courage, fortitude, initiative, and enterprise in matters with new beginnings, and in matters really also about doing things with little procrastination in terms of your physical body, your appearance at this time, with little hesitation. Remember, Aries energy could be rather impatient, and it is hurried, unlike Taurus. Aries is not exactly renowned for their notorious for being overly patient. So it's something where you could actually be valuing little procrastination, so to speak, valuing quickness in terms of doing things as far as your appearance goes, and new beginnings, and just and things with your physical body as well. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Aries February 2020 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Aries February 2020 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. Until next time, people, Edwin Leonard is saying stay well.